Could a deadly bus crash have been prevented?
It's a question quite a few people are asking after the driver that slammed into the bus, killing 13 people, admitted to using his cell phone. Right now, a bill that would ban texting while driving is going through the legislature. Lawmakers for the bill are more hopeful it will pass this time around.
Sharon Coe talked to the bill's author, who says while it's too late for so many, there's still time to prevent more tragedies.
13 lives were lost on Highway 83 near Concan Wednesday. Eyewitnesses say 20-year-old Jack Young admitted he was texting and driving when he slammed into a bus, killing church members on board. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating that claim and have obtained both drivers' cell phone records. Tom Craddock, a Republican representative from Midland, says fatal crashes can be prevented. He's spearheading a bill to implement a statewide ban on texting and driving.
What we need is one uniform state law that's across the board on texting, so people will know what they can do and what they can't when they enter into the state.
In 2015, the Texas Department of Transportation says more than 105,000 accidents were caused by distracted drivers. Out of those, more than 400 were fatalities. Craddock has advocated for the ban for 4 successive sessions that failed each time.
It just makes me feel like I should have done something. I'm not sure what it was to get this thing passed earlier, but I've tried everything I could.
This time around, the bill has passed the House and is now in the Senate. Craddock says he needs help to propel it further.
I think the odds are better this time because of the awareness. People know the problem out there. We need help from people to talk to their senators and tell them to support the bill. It's up to us to solve it.
Meanwhile, Jack Dylan Young is now recovering at home nearly a week after the deadly bus crash. The 20-year-old was released from University Hospital today. Young has not been charged with any crime. State and federal investigations are still underway. The only woman on the bus to survive the crash remains in the hospital.
More public school students could get the special education services they need. State lawmakers are working to pass House Bill 713, which would prohibit a cap of how many students qualify for special ed. The Texas Education Agency previously set this cap for school districts at 8.5%. If school districts violated this, they'd be penalized. They stopped enforcing it last year, but TEA says it came from concern districts enrolled students in special ed to avoid taking the state assessment test. Lawmakers did not take action on the bill today, but a new rule to remove the cap completely could happen in the next few weeks. 2 bills involving college universities now head to the House. SB 19 freezes tuition at public universities for the next 2 years. And SB 576 aims to prevent cover-ups of campus sexual assault by requiring university staff and student leaders report crimes when they find out about them.
Still not a lot of information tonight about a shooting in southeast Austin today. Just before 3, Austin police got to the scene on Encinal Cove near Stastny Lane after several gunshots were fired. One man was hurt, but it wasn't clear if he was actually shot. Police believe 4 to 6 people could have been involved. No arrests have been made, but police say there isn't a threat to the public.
Austin police need your help finding one of the 2 men they say are responsible for the murder of a man in North Austin last month. Police are looking for 21-year-old Marvin Flint Jr. This is a mugshot from a previous arrest. He and Carl Stokes, whom APD arrested, are accused of shooting and killing 26-year-old Michael Blaylock on March 26th. It happened before 10 p.m. on Carmen Court next to Webb Middle School. Officers found Blaylock hurt from gunshot wounds and later ruled his death suspicious. Police listed both men as persons of interest, but now say they are suspects. If you have any information, you're asked to call police.
New tonight, a major victory today for some members of the LGBTQ community worried about discrimination at work. The Night Beat's Tina Shively is in the newsroom with the latest. Tina?
Well, Mike, a federal appeals court in Chicago ruled that a 1964 law barring sex discrimination also extends to sexual orientation. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the 7th Circuit arrived at the 8-3 decision. The case stems from a lawsuit by Indiana teacher Kimberly Hively, who says a community college didn't hire her full-time because she is a lesbian. And while the 7th Circuit has limited jurisdiction, the court's ruling is a milestone in the national effort to protect the LGBTQ community from discrimination. The issue could still land before the Supreme Court. It's unlikely that a Republican-led Congress will amend the 53-year-old Civil Rights Act. Quita?
Thanks, Tina. A report on institutional racism in Austin generates hundreds of recommendations touching on everything from housing, education, and criminal justice. 2 high-profile police incidents were among the reasons a task force was asked to look at racism in Austin and how to help alleviate disparities. Some of the many ideas include hiring allowances to minority teachers after the task force found teacher demographics don't match that of the student population. And when it comes to gentrification, one of the recommendations suggests tax help for minorities in some of those neighborhoods. That report was compiled by the mayor's task force on institutional racism.
The UN holding an emergency meeting tomorrow morning over suspected chemical warfare in Syria. The video is disturbing. We're choosing not to show all of it to you. At least 58 people died, 11 of them children. Survivors are on ventilators with symptoms including suffocation, respiratory failure, and paralysis. The attack has been widely condemned.
Today's chemical attack in Syria against innocent people, including women and children, is reprehensible and cannot be ignored by the civilized world.
Eyewitnesses say the suspected sarin gas attack was carried out by jets operated by the Russian and Syrian governments, but both nations deny responsibility.
As the president's border wall continues to move forward, the tension along the border is also building. Border correspondent Oscar Margain explains the president's supporters aren't always welcomed with open arms.
I voted for Trump, and I didn't think he was going to win. I was happy that he made it, and I just wanted people to know how I felt about it.
About 2 months ago, Raymond Rojas had this sign made in support of President Trump. It's usually displayed on his property, but when the mood strikes, he takes the sign on the road.
That's freedom of speech.
During today's trip,
I'm videotaping you guys too.
it compelled this lady to stop and confront Raymond and his wife.
Who do you want Trump to give him help?
Give help to all those people that are against his, the way he wants to, what he wants to do for the country. Yeah. And those that are opposing him, give them help.
Well, I guess that makes me one of them.
Hey, what is running back? We've had people, just say nasty things. We've had people come ask me if they can take a picture of it.
Supporting President Trump and his policies can draw some backlash, especially in blue regions along the border.
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm looking for Mr. Luis Sepulveda.
One of the reasons why so many companies looking to build the border wall try keeping a low profile.
So dale gas Trump, vas bien, give him hell.
Vangela Churchill is one of the few around here who, like Raymond, like to display support for Trump.
I get flipped off, I get honked at, people cut me off.
She understands why, when it comes to supporting a border wall, many on the border prefer to keep to themselves.
And I think he's doing a good job. We just have to give him time.
Raymond says he's keeping his sign up for the foreseeable future. Now he plans to change that message soon to something that supports building the border wall. In Edinburgh, near the Texas-Mexico border, Oscar Margain reporting.
All right, I'm in the Weather Center with Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon, just discussing what's going on with the weather. Hot day today, almost made 90, not quite, but we have a cool down on the way.
Finally, temperatures starting to get a little out of control, getting in the 90s yesterday, near 90 today, but a front is on our doorstep. Moving to the hill country right now. It will be pushing through Austin in the overnight. No moisture for this front to work with, so the front comes in dry. Different story, though, up towards the north of us, where a severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for portions of Arkansas and Missouri. Active tornado warnings between Springfield and Little Rock tonight. And tomorrow, that system could be the trigger of a widespread severe weather outbreak from Pensacola to Atlanta in particular, that area of the country under a moderate risk. So not just tornadoes, but the potential for some large and long tracking tornadoes in that part of the country starting as early as sunrise tomorrow out in the southeast. But for us, a front will cool us down tomorrow. The sun will be out. We'll be in the 40s by tomorrow night, and then a slow warm up into the weekend. I'll tell you when thunderstorms return to our own forecast coming up.
Thanks, Albert.